Good afternoon to you and welcome to SoftLine. I am Nancy Banigo, and as usual, I won't be doing this alone today. I'll be doing it with my ladies in the house, Lillian and Edidion. Lillian, how are you?
Good afternoon, viewers. Guess what? It's a new month.
It's a
First
new
of
month,
November.
yeah.
Did you see how fast the year has gone?
Oh, in fact, the year is over already.
Wow.
It's over.
Stay tuned to SoftLine.
Edidion, happy new month.
Yeah, hello out there. It's another beautiful edition of SoftLine, and we're happy you're there to listen to us. Stay tuned.
Okay, so today we'll be discussing childcare. I know most of you must have heard the rumor. Well, it's not a rumor. Is it a rumor?
No,
it's
no,
no
it's
longer
not.
a rumor.
Yeah.
It has been verified. Okay, so we'll be talking childcare. We wouldn't let the cat out of the bag now, but it's something we really need to talk about. Remember I think sometime last week we discussed housemaid and how we should treat housemaid and all that. But this is on a different level. So according to UNICEF, child care and protection is a term used to describe philosophies, policies, standards, guidelines, and procedures to protect children from intentional or unintentional harm. Now, this definition reflects the duties of persons towards children and child care. There has to be empowerment, prevention, protection, and accountabilities. Okay, so now let's now go over to the news. The police spokesman in Lagos, Benjamin Handeye, on Tuesday morning confirmed that the singer's Davido's son, Ifeanyi, died in an alleged swimming pool accident. Now, this sad news of the singer's son's death broke on social media late Monday after actress Eniola Badmus posted it on her Instagram. She subsequently deleted the post. He said 8 of the workers have been brought in for questioning. He did not describe the location because he feared that people might besiege the station. He said it was a station in Lagos Island. Now, the 3-year-old reportedly drowned in the family swimming pool in Lagos and was underwater for unspecified period before he was spotted. He was allegedly rushed to the hospital where he was confirmed dead on arrival. Now, this is the basis of our discussion today. We shall be discussing childcare and what it really means to live. Is it actually worth it to leave your child with some of these nannies and childcare providers? We'll be right back to discuss more and then introduce our guests to you. We'll go on a very short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Nigeria is a great country, blessed with human and natural resources. Born on October 1st, 1960, and like a child who's grown into an adult, has faced her own share of challenges. But Nigeria has the capacity to fulfill her destiny. With great minds and great leaders, a bright future is guaranteed. Though tribes and tongues may differ, her beauty is in the diversity. Her power is in the unity. Nigeria, our country, is for you and for me. Let's make it the Nigeria of our dream. Advocate Broadcasting Network, a part of you.
All right, so our guest today is Mr. Humble Mkpa, right?
Yeah.
Mkpa, okay. So he's a personal development consultant. Mr. Humble, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Nancy.
Okay, so
Good to be here.
I know you've heard the sad story about Ifani, the 3-year-old son of Davido and all that. So some times ago we discussed how we should treat our house helps and housemates on this show, because at that point we had so many videos going around making virus, of people maltreating their house help, and also we felt we should talk about it. But now this is on a different level. If we for some time now, you see that on the social media you tend to see some videos of parents, especially the celebrities, the so-called celebrities, they tend to leave their kids with nannies. You see a child having 2 to 4 nannies to him or herself. And then these parents now feel it's okay, we're always traveling. They travel wide and far and then leave these children with the nannies. I don't know, I find it very difficult to even leave my child for 1 hour with somebody, a stranger. Even if it's paid, even my relative, I find it very difficult. So I don't know how, it beats me how a woman would I don't know.
I understand.
Travel, have fun, while leaving a child that young under the care of a nanny.
It's quite a sad one. It's quite a sad one because, first of all, thank you very much for bringing me here. So feels good to be among the ladies.
Okay.
Okay, so like we discussed, it's quite a sad one. When I read it on the social media, I had to pause for a while and imagine what that would feel like. I want to believe for a man of his class, he perhaps has CCTV in his home, how it will feel to watch that video. It's going to traumatize that family for a very long time. And as sad as it is, I'm glad this is up here on the studio because we all need to take things from here, learn from here. It's not just about, how many nannies you have. We have to look around what is happening in the world today. The world has changed, and abruptly so. You will agree with me that since 2020, when we had the pandemic incident, it has changed the way we work. And because it has changed the way we work, a lot of people are yet to come up to grips with the realities, the new realities, with how we should be working. And because of the demand in the workplace, because of the demand to make money, you have a tough economy, you have a lot to catch up with, you have the crowd, the audience that you need to feed with your, in the case of Davido and wife, they have the public to satisfy with what they do. They're always watching out for them. They have demands, and these things happen, and subconsciously we tend to prioritize money over family. The children take the brunt for it like it happened. It's quite a sad thing. It doesn't matter how many people you put in place to take care of your child. The most important thing for you will be how much value are you communicating downwards, how much value are you passing down to your children. There's a lot to talk about here, and I want to pick out on a thing or two. For example, value systems of individual matters a lot. As a personal development coach, I try to zoom in on individual's value system. What is important to you as a person? What is important to you as a family? What is important to you for your career? If on your top 3 priorities of your life and family is not on the first 2, then there could be something wrong right there. That's a red flag. So every individual should review these things. It's quite unfortunate what happened with Davido, because if we want to look at it, there's a parenting fault there. There's also the fault from the caregivers too. Most of the time we pick caregivers who are not experienced, You know, just because you have a relative, you drag them back to come and help assist you with your kids. We don't look into, I remember there was a time I had a discussion some few years back about Nigeria having a database for employees. We have a database where we track employees' history. So before you hire someone, you want to know where have you worked before? How have you been trained in this area? If that caregiver was able to find that child struggling for life and bring the child out of water, would that caregiver have been able to know what to do to salvage and manage that situation?
The situation
So all
at
these
that
are
time.
things that we need to look at very closely. We need to look at the details involved, every step of the way. How was the swimming pool area open? Why should you leave that area open when you have a toilet at home? You should have some kind of
talking about that protection, I don't know if they can show that on air. We have this nets where you can use it to cover the pool when the children are around
and beyond
the
that,
pool.
you fence that area out of the
something
risk.
like this,
Yeah, exactly. And that area should be fenced, away from every other area.
Because these kids are something else. You can't predict
very
them.
lively people, so they will go everywhere. They will
like
enjoy
to
themselves. Someone
All right.
should always have an eye on them.
All right. So, I know it's a sad one. It's a sad one. I'm really sad about it, but we'll have to talk about it.
Yeah, it's quite sad, and I take my mind back to when we last talked about domestic help, and these are the things that have come up. And you'll see in this case, it's a case of negligence. Part of the factors which we probably didn't touch that there, and aside negligence, the involvement of the parents. How involved are you at home, even when you have enough domestic help to take care of you? Remember I mentioned in the last topic that there are necessary evils, and mostly because we have them. For some, they have them because of the involvement. Our guests have mentioned that because of your career.
Work demand.
Yeah, the work demand, so you need them. And I feel, like I said, you need to decide. You actually, the parent here, really need to take a decision on whether you need to involve domestic help, or you sit down and then take care of your children during the frame of motherhood, But then, with the economy, it's not so easy, for people to do sit back and just take care of children, which I mentioned the last time. That was what made women being tagged that their place is in the kitchen, Women then relegated everything to the ground and waited for this period of grooming their children, parenting them, to when they are independent before they go searching for jobs. But the economy is not like that, because most times they don't have partners who are helpful, so they need to actually also fend to make sure that the family stays good and needs are being met. So it's really a sad thing.
All right, Mr. You want to say something?
Yeah, I like the part that Mr. Humble talked about, that it's always good before you hire a child caregiver, you need to have something like a background check. And I don't know if that's common in this part of the world, because it's important. When you're taking care of a toddler, sometimes you need to think like that toddler. Like most of them, they like to explore. If you leave them there, they want to know what's
so
in there.
energetic.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good to be able to check the background before hiring one. And then from time to time, check on your home. Don't just travel for like 3-4 hours. You're not aware. You've not called the house.
You're talking about hours, days.
Or days.
Yes, some of them travel for days.
I'm telling you, you need to check on your home. Know what's happening. Junior, is he sleeping? What is he doing right now? Has he eaten or something? And you, the caregiver out there, you sit down, you're supposed to take care of a child, and you stay like 20 minutes, the child is not in front of you. You need to find out, where is the child?
Very important.
You need to check, what is he doing right now? Especially when some kids are very, very active, So I think it's very, very important to take note of that.
I went to a hotel one time with my family, and Right there, I knew I was in front of this pool with my kids, you know, because I'm always very vigilant when I go with them to swim. I don't take my eyes off them.
Right.
But even with my eyes fixed on these children, right in front of us, a child drowned. You know, we just saw a pregnant woman. She was like calling out name. We were like, who is she calling? You know, we're asking, whom are you calling? Is it a child? No, she didn't even ask the question, maybe to ask people around, did you see so child? Did you see a child like this? Or she didn't say anything. She was just walking around the pool and calling out the child's name. Before you knew what was happening, she dived into the pool. So that was when I now stood up to go see what is happening. Did she fall? Was it intentional or something? She discovered the child she was looking for was in the pool.
Wow.
Oh, how sad.
Right in front of us. With my cat eyes fixed on these children, I didn't see that. So, I don't know. Even with this, mothers still have this confidence of leaving people, you know. That is my question here. What kind of a background check would you even do? Because we are all humans. So for 1 minute, the caregiver might just want to like, okay, stretch her legs or look away. And just under that one split second, the unthinkable happens.
Yeah. In my own view, I think it's very important as a parent, right from when I'm designing the house that I'm going to live, I have all those things.
And then we don't remember that we also have another celebrity that also lost a child in this same way. The Banj, you remember? Okay. He also lost his child. He also drowned in the pool. No. Also a toddler.
Yeah, there are other dangers at home facing children. Electricity is one of them. Fire incidents. Yeah. You know, a child dabbles with
gas or something.
Charger?
A kettle.
Okay.
Electric kettle, or maybe boiling water, and they get burnt, you know, 3rd-degree burns and stuff. So there are a lot of potential of these things happening at home. But you need to understand right from when you are planning your home that if you're going to have a swimming pool, it should be in an area where the kids don't have access to.
Right.
Very important. And the way you design your house, the kind of circuitry you have at home for electric and stuff like that, they shouldn't be exposed. You should always have something fitted to the plug holes where the kids cannot insert a nail or anything.
Yeah, oh, goodness.
So all these things need to be planned. Unfortunately, we do not take these things into consideration as parents. And this is where the mistake starts. Because it's a collective effort. The maid is involved. The security in the compound is involved. The parents are involved. Everybody is involved. And just in case anybody misses anything, we should have a CCTV camera there to check some things. And the screen should be maybe in your sitting room. There should be a screen that shows other areas of the house on that screen. So while you are here, you can monitor what is happening. And the maid, first of all, should make sure the child is never out of your sight. So if you have 3-4 maids at home, the one taking care of the child should not be the one cooking, not the one attending to other things at the house. So these are all the things that we should have all checked so that we plan and prepare for children. Because you cannot tie them down.
Right.
As parents, we know what it means to have these people at home. They are the life of the house. They run around, you're watching TV, they don't want to watch this program. They are somewhere
trying to explore, you know, doing all manner of things.
My daughter, the last one that is she for you. You leave her for 1 minute, she's doing her makeup somewhere. She's just somewhere doing something else. So you want to make sure the doors to those areas are locked. And the kids kept somewhere higher than where they can reach.
You know, you just made mention of electricity, and it just struck me because we've never thought about it.
You know, those things are actually in the market. The people don't take them seriously.
So you can cover.
You can just cover, and the kids can pull them because they're tightly fitted.
Right. Yeah.
They're tightly fitted. The kids can. And
because I remember seeing
there are drawers they cannot even open because there are things you have there that the clip is tight. They
see, because I remember just yesterday seeing my 4-year-old daughter trying to plug her phone.
I mean, they do those things.
Telling me, mommy is down, mommy is down.
Exactly.
So she wants to plug it.
I've seen a situation where there were two close incidents that happened to experience. One of them was the charger was still unplugged. The phone was removed, and the child was chewing on the cable.
Oh my goodness.
So that was a very dangerous one. The same thing happened with a standing fan.
Goodness.
Where the child was chewing on the cable. So luckily, the mother was trying to play with her napkin when she got the shock. The electrician threw the child, got the mother. That was when she jumped and realized that. So
oh my
we
goodness.
hurriedly pulled the plug from the wall.
Oh,
So these are all very dangerous situations. The fan is not used, pull the plug. The charger, you finish it, pull the plug. You finish ironing, pull the plug. Don't leave those things unplugged because the kids will come playing with them. And those things, they could get electrocuted in the process. Again, if you have electrical work or something done and there are naked cables around the switches and so on, please get them proper. If you don't know how to do it, call an electrician and fix those things because they could. I walked into someone's house one day and I found out that the ceiling fan, the regulator was bad. So they had pulled that regulator for repair or replacement, but they left those cables just stepped without putting them out of sight. They just tapped them. They should have covered that hole. They tapped them. So I walked in and I told them what's happening here. And it's like, oh, then I took that thing 2 days ago and said, do something about it. You could. That's a potential danger there.
All right, so now let's look at
a lot
it.
involved.
Is it even mandatory to even have, because I've heard of, one of the ministers, former minister, I remember one time he was having some problems with his wife, and then she came on to Instagram and then mentioned her 5 children have, I think 2 or 3 nanny to each of the child, So why would the child have such, number of nanny? When a pin falls to the floor, a child drops something, he's not allowed to pick it up. A nanny has to do everything. Is it even advisable?
I think it's just an abuse of wealth.
Yeah.
Just an abuse of wealth. All these things play out. Ignorance is what is playing out there. If you look at it carefully, if you ask them, okay, for instance, I help people with their businesses. I train employees and stuff. You walk in there, somebody has 5 employees and is having issues, and I'm hired to reorganize, strategize the system of business development to see how they can maximize profit.
Okay.
And I sit down and begin to work with every individual in that office. And you find out from the job descriptions with the roles and responsibilities assigned, and you find out that one person's role
It's being replicated.
I think there are a lot of issues there. Let me point this out because it's very important. They are not defined in the first place.
Yeah.
They're not clearly defined. Let me use that adjective. They're not clearly defined. So you tell someone your job, you're my secretary, and the person doesn't know what secretary means.
Right.
And you tell the other person you are my treasurer or you are my accountant. What's the distinction? Where does the secretary job stop and the accountant job begin?
Yeah.
So when you ask these people to tell you their job description, their roles and responsibilities, you give them paper to write it down. At the end of the day, you find out that cross-function. People are doing people's job, and that is where abuses start. You see, somebody knows that he's supposed to do this, but because the other person has a cross-function to perform that same task, they go to sleep and allow that person. I'm assuming that person will do that job.
Yeah.
So that could have played out here.
Yeah.
Somebody was not assigned specifically
to watch
to
over
that
the
child. Because in the case of police investigation right now, it should have been a case of police coming straight to that person.
Yes, but now
it is
we have
your
8.
responsibility. Others wouldn't even have a question to answer. It would have been straight that one person. Where were you at this time? For this number of hours, you didn't see the child. I mean, it will be very clear.
And then you have a point there, because see, they said the police people have 8. Now, 8 of them one could be assuming this one is watching.
Exactly.
This one will say this one is watching. Meanwhile, nobody's actually watching.
These things happen all the time. It happens all the time. So people, first of all, when they're employing, why are you employing? You have to be very clear on what you want that person to do. Because if you don't know why you are employing, when the reason is not known, abuse is inevitable. The person comes and assumes the work in my job is a maid. specifically, we are 8 of us. What specifically are we doing that are distinct to each other? It has to be very clear. If your own is to make sure there is something to eat, focus on that. If your own is to make, the other person's own is to make sure the clothes are never dirty, the dry cleaner speaks the mom in good time and return them in good time, you take care of anything clothed in the house, the blinds, bedspreads, everything, towels, you have to make sure that person's job description is clear, including whose clothes to wash, so that they will not say, oh, because I'm a maid, you don't wash I'm a colleague, you don't wash my own. So this could have been a problem here, not specifically spelling out and fleshing out to the people's understanding, your mate's understanding on their job's specificity. Because if these things are not clearly defined, abuse is inevitable. It could have been the unfortunate thing that happened here. Somebody was not specifically assigned to that child. Because if that person is assigned to that child, and the other ones need to also have a responsibility of reporting on gray areas, gaps, whatever they discovered. If you notice that the person supposed to taking care of that child is ill at the time, because these things happen. That person is ill at the time. Who is supposed to, what extent is the other person supposed to cover? And sometimes we hire people and we give them job descriptions like we are discussing, and we don't spell out from what time range to what time range. So the person is working 24 hours. So sometimes instead of hire 8, you just run shift with 2 people and they fix the job.
All right, we'll go on a short break and we'll be right back. Please don't go anywhere.
In a world of overwhelming voices where everyone has different opinion on different issues, it is important that we bring the core issue to the fore. Join me, Nancy Banigo, on SoftLine with Nan, as we lend our voices to inform and influence your thoughts and actions. This is not just mere talk, it is an evocative program that touches the core of our existence. SoftLine with Nan, only on ABN.
Welcome to Engine Season 2!
Join us on the most exciting adventures across the African continent.
Explore, discover, be amazed!
Part of the next generation of African change makers.
Be a part of Engine, Africa's #1 science discovery program.
Let's go! We're learning every day. Let's go!
Watch this educative program on this channel every Saturday at 9 a.m. and a repeat on Sunday at 11 a.m. ABN, a part of you.
All right, thank you for being there and welcome back. So, Mr. Humble, we were like What are those criteria one should look out for when hiring some of these nannies? You know, why I'm asking this question, there are some videos we see nannies behaving abnormally,
Yeah, things can happen from any abscess. I mean, a lot can happen.
And you tend to imagine, are they actually humans?
Yeah.
Like a nanny feeding a baby feces. Like a nanny intentionally breaking the bones of a child. We've seen all this on the social media. So why do they have this kind of trends?
Now we need to understand that, for example, if you ask someone, who are you? They would often start telling you their names. Are they really their names? No. We are more of what we do. Let me say that again. We are more of what we do. And background really matters. As a data analyst, I do data and people analytics. So that's what I do. So I study trends, patterns in people. And I use the trends and patterns to make predictions. I can do that for work. I can do that for your personal life. And these things play out in this situation right now.
Okay.
That's why a lot of people they like to hire me when they are recruiting.
Okay.
Because when you are recruiting as the owner of the business, probably you don't have a trained eye around that area, and that could bring up a lot of issues afterwards. So when you are looking out for a maid, first of all, like I mentioned earlier, you need to find out what are you looking for specifically. If the maid's job is for a child, it's very important that you find out the background of that person. Background has to do with the psychological quotients of that person. Has a person been exposed to abuses before?
Okay.
Is a person exposed to abusive substances? That is why you need to look at all those things, very important.
Okay.
The person using substances, have they been abused before as a child? And they are growing up with those traumas. And these traumas begin to play out in the way they hate kids or parenting or something. Then on the side of the parent, let me just limit to that too for now. On the side of the parents, how are you treating your maid? Some of us are very abusive in the way we talk to our maids. And they vent out those frustrations on our children because they can't handle us. If you know somebody's driving your kids to school, somebody's protecting your family when you are out, if you know somebody's taking care of your child, I think it's very important that you understand that that person's mindset, mental health, is something you should zoom in on seriously and take very seriously. Because, for example, let me use something very simple. You have a maid that has not seen their parents and have not gone out for 5 years. You have not allowed them travel. Do you think that maid is going to be psychologically fit to deliver? Definitely not. They are not happy people. Immediately you notice what is important to a person, which is one of the questions you ask when you're recruiting. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your life. What is the best picture you see for yourself? Allow them talk freely and pay attention to details. Because when you begin to understand that somebody intends to go to school, somebody takes their parents very seriously, somebody wants to see the mother every 2 weeks, is homesick, you need to pay attention to these very simple things. There are red flags.
But you see, in our society, if we bring it down, what you are saying is what should be obtainable, right? But in what we experience, we have foreigners who do this job.
Okay.
The foreigners come, they have interviewed this person, these people are okay, they'll meet your demand. So for you, what you want is, are they affordable?
Yeah, just go there, pay and get one.
You allow the forerunner do what you are saying, which should actually be your job.
It's even a mistake. Let me interrupt you a little bit.
Okay.
It's a mistake for you to employ somebody's service to hire and you are not there. Prior to that hiring exercise, you would have had a lot of series of meetings, carefully itemizing what you want, what are important things to you, vis-a-vis what are the standards and expectations globally and culturally. You need to look at all those perks, because it is when you properly align these things, you now know the right questions to ask during the interview. And even after the interview, because a lot of people, because you know, when you're hiring people in this climb, you notice that say anything, auntie anything. That's what they tell you.
Yeah.
What can you?
I can do anything.
How can you do? I can do anything, auntie, anything. I just want a job. You now understand from the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that person's immediate need is money. Immediately they now move in. The money is there, the food is there, and the basic needs are met. Now the hierarchy of need goes up. They begin to think about security. For how long will I stay here? So I will just sit down here taking care of their children forever. So you need to understand what that person wants. Is security important for that person? I mean, education important for that person? Does this person want to have something they do? Vocation or something. Find out what is important to that person. Because after a period that the basic needs are met and the person is thinking about security, they now begin to think about self, future, and not immediate need of food, clothing anymore. The hierarchy of needs had moved up. So the person is thinking about other things. If the person is elderly, they might even begin to think about getting married. I'm 26 and I'm still a maid. These are all very important things to look at. Because if you continue to think me, you're going to overlook a lot of things that will come back to bite you.
But then, let me give you a scenario.
Okay,
like
please.
a little child that you bring, the priority is to go to school, right? So someone
who's little child? Let me understand.
Like you brought
you bring a little
help to take care of a baby.
Like how old are you calling a little child? 10-year-old.
10 years.
Can a 10-year-old really handle a baby?
But she's talking about what's obtainably in
Okay, so let's hear this story.
This is a true life story that I'm telling you.
Okay.
So the lady now goes, she brings her little cousin or
Who's
someone
a
in the
10-year-old?
Yes, to take care of her baby. And now the girl takes care of her baby. You know, the last time we discussed that it's good to surprise, surprise.
Okay, like coming from
work.
Yes,
and that was exactly what she did. Only to discover that this 10-year-old, whatever they give the baby, maybe pap or something, she made it watery. And was like punishing the baby and giving,
Trust me.
Mischievous.
Trust me,
Mischievous act.
A lot worse things will happen.
Yeah. But now this is a 10 years old.
Yes. In the first place, should you employ a 10-year-old? These are all the things we're talking about.
But even if it's not employment, sometimes you could bring in a relative of that age to help you take care of your little child, which is something that is very popular.
Rampant right now.
Very nice. Where were you at your 10-year-old? What were you doing?
You look at it that
no, you gotta look at it that way, because the problem starts with how we see it.
Don't
Remember,
forget we also have to look at the background.
Now,
most people we take as help are people who are disadvantaged in terms of parenting, like they don't have parents, abandoned children, maybe the parents
and those are the people we bring in to take care of our own children. And that's where the problem starts.
The parents,
I'm sure you didn't even get that part. She missed it.
That is
no, but I'm telling you what happened.
No, what
you got?
No, you didn't get the question he asked. He said, "Is that the kind of person you're bringing in to take care of you?"
That's some people, for obvious reasons. Tell you, I want someone like you mentioned in our last episode. I want someone to grow up with my child. So you won't get an adult. You get someone that the age range
like your
exactly.
child.
So it's about the need. What you want also.
Well.
So
in my training, they used to say something. How do I put it in this case, in this context? Some people want something, but they don't know what they want. Am I making sense?
All right, let's
okay, now.
We have very few minutes to go, so.
Sorry, how time flies.
Yes, we'll just have 5 minutes.
You wanna, if you really want a result, if you want results, you will not go and employ someone who cannot deliver that result. If you know clearly what you're looking for, a 10-year-old from all angles cannot handle
a child.
A child.
Because he's also a child.
Because he's also a child.
Yeah. So what we should be doing is training that 10 years old and not giving the 10 years responsibilities.
The mistake we make here is, as a parent, we first of all have flawed our strategy in employing that service. That strategy is highly flawed. In fact, outside this place, if something goes wrong, you'll be arrested as a parent. Clearly, let's face this thing. A thing is what it is and not what it's said to be.
Yeah.
So the truth about this thing is you cannot bring a 10-year-old to take care of a child. From all, I mean, if I'm the father and you do that without my knowledge, you will not like how I'm going to respond to it. So if you're bringing a child to take care of them or somebody that you can send around, for instance, being a mother is difficult. You are cooking. Okay, let's say a woman is newly married, she has a job. She has to take care of a baby. And there's nobody to go and pick that thing for me. Go and do that for me. It's difficult to do that. That's when you bring a 10-year-old that you can send to do this and not, okay, the baby is sleeping. Oh, while the child is there watching TV or doing something, look out. If the child wakes up, let me know. I mean, those are very basic things you can send a 10-year-old. And not to be in charge.
Like when you are
where you look away, you are outside the house. I mean, even the 10-year-old can commit something that can damage that
And
home.
that is when you see them battering these children.
Exactly.
You know? Because they're expecting a lot from these kids
you
until they don't
deliver. The emotional
deliver.
trauma they grow up with. The emotional traumas they grow up with. So when a child is crying, it's bothering them. They want to do something else and the child, it needs an attention that time. It provokes them. And when you're around, they do all manner of things to make you think they're comfortable with it. Immediately you look away, other things happen. Children are too delicate. Their future is too important for us to toil with employing a 10-year-old to take care of children. So I think that's where the whole mistake starts. The mistake starts with what do you want a maid for and what role? So what you want a maid for should be able to inform you on the age of the maid, the level of exposure, how informed, background, a whole lot is involved because that maid happens to be your child's playmate, happens to be your child's first person to reference, happens to be everything that child does mirrors. And from the age of 0 to 7, children learn from observing. So what do you want your child to observe and learn from a 10-year-old?
All right, so please, we have
we
just
might have
very
to continue from there.
Exactly.
If we zero into the topic we have at hand,
it's huge.
we will actually, yes, it's actually huge. But we'll actually see, like I said earlier on, negligence here, the case of negligence, and how to handle that. I think the case is still on, investigations are going on, so we may have to revisit this topic.
Yes, exactly. But then I would like Mr. Humble to, like, in a few minutes, just tell us some of those things we need to do as parents. Like you were mentioning, electricity, taking care of the electric aspects of the house, how to block it. So what are those other things parents need to do, like when they're leaving kids in the house, so that they don't run into some of these accidents in the house?
It's very important that most of these things are not new things to us as parents. We already know where the dangers lie. And when we sit around allowing the kids to play around the house, you see where they crawl to, you see what they try to do, you see the cupboards they want to open. You watch, observe, you see them. That's why we should pay, as parents, pay attention. Pay close attention. Things can happen in a flip. You don't watch movie magic and stuff and forget about your children. Pay close attention. I bring my laptops to the open, sit down in the dining, sit down, watch the kids in the parlor, in their own parlor while they play. I sit down, and while I work, while I do what I do, I'm watching. I listen to their conversation. What are they talking about? Very important, because you will pick up something. Something always fall off, and you will pick up, because these are children. They are not too attentive to detail. And when you do, some of those things, when we see them, we rush to spank them. No. Pay attention, correct the kids. Let them understand the dangers involved. There's nothing wrong with getting pictures of a child or accidents that have happened in the past to other children and telling them that when you are having meetings with them, at the end, tell them these are things that happen to people, children. Please beware of this, beware of that. Don't do this. And you see the look on their face. You see they begin to ask you questions, and you answer those questions, quietly. And by the time you finish, you have educated them. So the elderly one sees the junior one goes and like, leave that place. So these are very little ways we can begin to pass down information.
Wow, nice one there.
I think when you also say pay attention, it, like, for example, the homes that you have mates, you also need to pay attention because these signs show.
Exactly.
Like the mates, for example, you can see a mate that pays attention to the details of your children. And then you can also see a mate that is nonchalant or that loses focus or is not, you can't leave your child.
Watches African Magic and forgets the children.
So you can't leave your child in the hands of that maid and you're sure that at the time your child is supposed to eat that your child has eaten. So it's something that we also have to pay attention.
All right, so we have to go.
Can I just throw in something before we go?
Just 1 minute, Mr. Humble.
There's another challenge here.
Okay.
When you're paying attention to a maid, you can find out that the maid is very good at kitchen, when you're running around, cleaning up the home and stuff like that. But it's very, very poor at paying attention to the children. So now you are challenged with, should I let this kind of maid go? I mean, you have 70% and 30% lacking. And so these are all challenges that we need to deal with.
Yes, especially for women. I understand that part. All right, guys, we'll have to go. You have something last minute talk?
Yeah, all I'll do is advise parents out there to be involved in parenting. Get very
intentionally.
Yes, you need to be very intentional. Thank you so much.
All right, so we have to go. Lillian, you have something?
Just pay attention. Just the same thing. All
right, so that is it, guys. Our hearts really goes out to the delicates, for the son they lost. Is a sad one there. May God give them the heart to bear the loss. Okay, so that's our package for today. We'll see you on Thursday, God's willing. Thank you for watching. I'm Nancy Banigo. Bye-bye for now.